It has now been revealed that British and American scientists already knew about the Wuhan leak 2 years ago, but they didn't want to tell the public out of the fear of political backlash. Firstly, I cannot believe that it's been 2 years now since this whole debate started about Wuhan, what happened in Wuhan, and we've moved a lot. We've gone a long way from the theories of the wet markets to accidental lab leaks or purposefully doing something, projects that go wrong. Now we know that Western scientists knew about these theories, knew about these dangers 2 years ago. To be fair, this is not a news story really in that sense, but we now know the reason behind why they decided to hide it. Because we heard about the emails that Fauci was involved in, and nothing happened, by the way. No investigation really. There's, as usual, just cover-ups, classic White House. But we now know that because they wanted to make sure that international harmony over the health measures and lockdowns, in order to make sure that doesn't get hurt at the beginning of it, so around February, March 2020, they decided to hide this information from the general public across the world to make sure that we could implement those measures to flatten the curve, to save the NHS, to have 8 p.m. every Thursday clapping and everything else. And that went well for them because, yeah, they got away with it. And they didn't want to debate the real problems and real threat that is the Chinese Communist Party. Now we know that Ridley, who's the co-author of Viral and the origins of this whole thing in Wuhan, has said that these emails show the lack of openness and, of course, as well as transparency amongst the Western scientists who were just more interested in shutting down the whole thing. And of course, they didn't want to talk about anything else because of political reasons. That's one problem. And again, Dr. Fauci and people like that should be held responsible for the lack of debate that they created, or the atmosphere. Even here in this country, the emails were sent in response to the teleconference between 12 scientists, including Sir Patrick Vallance, the government's chief scientific advisor. This was on the 1st of February. Now, beginning of February this happened. Now, the emails show that by the 2nd of February, the next day in 2020, Sage and the government scientists were already trying to shut down the debate into the Wuhan leak theory. It took them a few hours. The next day, they decided to have this policy idea to make sure that, okay, fine, we've received evidence. We're just going to have to hide it because priority is to make sure that there is no uprising in the West. I'm not really sure what they were expecting. What do they think is going to happen? People were always skeptical about when it comes to the Chinese Communist Party anyway. So technically it worked because they were able to force people to stay at home across the world. And a lot of people actually obeyed, at least for the first few weeks, the first few months actually. Now we are seeing the change. Now we are seeing the bigger chunk of the population in this country, in America, in France, in Austria, and all the other countries who are waking up and saying that, well, we're sick and tired of this. We need to be able to live with it like anything else that we have had in the past. You can't just keep going round and round in a circle and then keep telling us what to do without actually tackling the real problem, which is the Chinese Communist Party and the people responsible for Wuhan labs. That's the reality. I just want to let you guys know, again, it's not really a breaking news story, but the intention and the reasoning behind why scientists decided to hide the story is kind of new and more public. So share this story, subscribe to the channel. I'm Tousi, and we are the media.